Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, where did all those people come
Hello,
from?
hello.
Oh my gosh, look at all these people. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so sorry I had to. You know what? Let's just face facts. I'm going to be late to my own funeral. Let's just call a spade a spade. You know what? I swear I'm just time impaired. I can't. Just can't. It is so nice to see so many faces and not so familiar ones. Hello. Oh my
Hi, Dr. Pam.
Hello.
hello, hello. I think Tora, did you take like this week? I think
Wednesday.
you're the latest. Anybody take since Wednesday? Everybody NCE, any of my LCS people? Yes, Tora, tell me about the test for you. What I want to know is what did you do when you saw the PASS on your paper?
Well, I didn't want to look at it, so I asked the proctor if she would look at it for me. And she said, well, how about I just say that you're going to have a good day?
Oh,
I
that's
just
nicer
thought,
than many of them. Okay, now give me that.
I think I did
Okay.
like a little shout or something.
Did you wait till you left the room at least, the testing area, or were you like right there in the room?
Oh, no, I
I was
left.
right there and I was trembling. I couldn't get my things out of the locker. And I saw this Spanish gentleman and I looked at him and I was like, my husband's not here. I think I need a hug. And he was like, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. I
That's
started
me. I
crying.
don't have a husband, but can I get a hug anyway for a man? I'll just.
I started crying, and then all of a sudden he starts
Oh,
crying, and we
oh,
both are crying. I have no idea
oh,
who this person
oh,
is.
oh,
That's
I hope he passed
beautiful.
his test.
Well, I hope he
So,
did.
are you a first-time test taker?
I am, yes, ma'am.
One and done. One and done. Very good. How did you hear about us?
Um, so I've been, in the circles of everyone who are kind of sending materials and telling me, about Dr. Pam and you're in my head, as everyone says, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I have 11 weeks and I felt like I've been studying for a year since March of last year.
Okay.
And I realized that I think I need a little more structure. And so I thought that, girl, go ahead and pay. You spend $700 on a pair of shoes. So just go ahead and pay, get the tutoring, get the structure, and invest in yourself. So
Very cool. Very cool. So, okay, we're always curious about how you find out about us. We really think we grow very largely through word of mouth. So,
mhm.
would you say your school, a Facebook page, somebody at work? What would you say was the biggest one that thought, let me just try her?
It was word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay.
Word of
Okay.
mouth. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Anybody else find us differently? Anybody just scrolling through the internet and thought, oh, look.
I found you on Facebook.
Okay. On our page, or did somebody else recommend us?
No, I had typed in NCE test prep kind of stuff, and
Uh-huh.
you came up. It was some other ones that came up too, but I was like,
I'm
it's
pretty
looking
close to the
different.
top now, though. I am. I didn't used to be, but right now I'm pretty close to the top. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
I said,
scrolling YouTube. I found you on YouTube.
did you search
Yeah.
NCE?
No, I'm a YouTube watcher. Just
Okay.
everything. Yeah. So I was scrolling on YouTube and that's how I saw you. I just saw,
Very
I think it was
cool.
the social worker one is what the first one I
Okay.
saw. And so I just
Okay.
started looking at all the other ones. Yeah.
Very cool. Black Therapist Rock. Very good. Was it an advertisement or did they actually, did Black Therapist Network actually someone recommend me or they actually did you see a post?
Someone recommended you. They said that they passed the first time.
So let me tell you, I'm a social worker. Social worker. Okay. So I've been in the field my entire life. I've been in clinical social work. I've never taken any babies. Y'all know I didn't want half mine. So, I didn't take any babies. And I don't know diddly about running a business. I didn't know diddly. And when I first started, released the first video was March of 2000. I'm sorry, December of 2018. We cruise every year at Christmas. We're going to put this video out there. And I'm like, nobody's going to watch it. No big deal. Because, when you put a video out, it comes with good and bad, right? It comes with good and bad. And I didn't know that I had enough self-esteem for the bad. And there was nobody but me, even though I said I'd answer the phone and say, hi, thanks for calling. Let me get her for you. Nobody but me here. It was scary. It was so scary. And my friends kept saying, why are you putting it out for free? Why aren't you doing this? And my goal has always been that and if you don't look like me, I'm sorry. But I've always felt the need for people that look like me had more of a struggle. And I didn't see any tutors that look like me. Let's be honest, there are very few female tutors on the NCE page. Most of the people are the old white men. And I just thought, you know what? There's nobody like me. And then that's scary because, the old white men have been around forever, so they must know everything. So then it's like, oh, try my way, try something new. Oh my gosh, it was so scary. It's still scary today, but we've been around long enough to have it researched. We know that it works. We like what we do. We've got some empirical based research. Okay, so who has had the biggest pay raise, you think? Since you passed your test, who's making $5,000 more? Show of hands. 2 people? $10,000 more? Oh, I see. Oh, girl, $10,000.
Are you talking monthly or are you talking
yearly? Well, girl,
yearly?
If you make that a month, you let me know.
Yeah,
Because
I was like, wait a second. Yeah. Not yet.
For most people, the license leads to more money. And maybe you have to get your hours in first, but always that's the goal, isn't the license leads to more money? So that is the goal. The stupid sheet of paper, and it's really a stupid sheet of paper, it leads to more money. And I pray wishes and blessings of money on all of you. I went from 15 a week to 35 a session. Oh, yeah. So you just made, so it's $20 an hour. So if I was a math person, I could say 20 times 40 is like $800 more a week if you're working 40 hours. I could do that. Yeah. See, if we do that by 12, that's 56. Yeah. So I can do that. I could. So the reason for the Parcel Party is really to share your experience from testing to the setting up to the testing day to what afterwards. Who wants to share? Who wants to share and just tell the world about how great you are?
I can start if I'm not good at this stuff, so I'm going to do it. I'm just throwing myself out there.
How
this
are
was
you?
actually good. How are you?
I met you in group a couple of times.
Yes,
correct?
you did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes.
I took it. This was my 4th time. I took it 3 other times. I took it once without you. Well, really twice, because I really didn't I was all in my mind. I literally, the 3 times that I failed, I was in my own head.
Oh, you saw your name according to Nadine, right?
I was a bully. I was a bully to myself. Yes, I was a bully to myself. I was mean to myself. I doubted myself. I can tell you that now. I've done a lot of thinking, and I missed it by 1 point the first time, so that really set me up. The second time, there were other stuff that was going on during testing because it took an hour and a half. They weren't answering the phone to help me set it up. Something was wrong on their end, and then they blamed me. It was just all.
Were you testing at home?
I tested at my office the first 2 times.
Okay.
And then the third time, I went in and I missed it by 2 points. So I thought, okay, that's it. I'm taking a step back and evaluating what's going on. And your videos and then the sessions are really what helped me. And what I did was I didn't do the full 90 days. However, I committed, and I committed the other times, but this was a different time. This was a stop being mean to myself, stop doubting myself, stop listening to that voice that I, talk to my clients about, and listen to myself. And I still have moments where I'm thinking, oh, I got to study. It's like, no, I don't. No. So, I shredded everything, which I didn't have to shred. I just wanted to see it go through that stupid thing. And it's all in your mind. And you're right. There's some stuff you have to memorize. A lot of this stuff is just really reading the question and reading it and not overthinking it. And it is all what you say. And your little things came in my head, so I watched the videos, I would write down things, that you had said, and I'm trying to think of a lot of them, but I can't. I can't.
It's a reading test.
I
It's
know.
a reading test. Go back to the question.
I
Prove
know.
it to me in the
Yep.
question. How do you
Yep.
know? How do
It's
you know? It's
truly
a
what it is.
reading test. It's a
That played
reading
over
test.
in my head over and over again. And the thing that I will say was the biggest thing for me, and I think you and I talked at one of my last things, was don't go back and reread the things that you already answered. If you answered it, it meant you knew it. And if you didn't know it, move on. And so
you skipped the second part.
if you
If
didn't
you
know
tell-
it, go ahead.
If
Oh,
you
yes.
if you change your answers, I'm going to hunt you
Yep.
down and kill you.
Yes,
Okay?
that was, I did forget about that part.
Passes by changing answers. No
Yep.
one ever passes. Don't change your answer.
And I did that for my third test. I went back and I changed answers and I missed it by 2. And I was like, dang it. So yeah,
Don't
so I
change your
I
answer.
left it blank if I didn't know it. And I went back and a lot of them I'm like, oh, okay, I actually do know that, or it didn't matter. And I just submitted it. I did take it at my office again because I did not, I couldn't get into a facility and I wanted to have it on a certain day. So my husband also passed away and I wanted to take it on his anniversary of his death. Cause I was like, you know what? I'm doing this because I'm going to make this day a day that I don't always think about that. I'm going to take it on the day to kind of prove to myself that it doesn't have to be defined by that. And I passed. So
that's CBT.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's yeah. You replace those thoughts. Look at
I did.
that. Look at
Yep.
that. Look at
yes.
that.
So yes. So thank you for everything.
I think Misty's probably my highest score in this crowd. Anybody score higher than like 135?
I don't even know what I got, to be honest. I haven't looked at it. I saw pass and I never.
That's all that
looked at the
matters. That's
score.
all that
Yep.
matters. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
So the highest I think I've ever had is like 147. That's the highest I've ever seen. So 160 is a perfect score. It's a power test. You'll never, ever, 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 ever score a 160. The highest I personally consider is 147. And we don't do that anymore because we're not trying to throw up the norm for everybody. We're trying to keep it at just a good 100, right? Between 95 and 100. That's all we want it to be. We don't want you to have to score this perfect score. But somebody in this group scored off the chain. Was that you, Misty?
I scored 137.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
I was just shooting for 95. I was going to be thrilled with 95.
I just think that is such an amazing score. You went over and above. You must have studied. You must have had no life at all.
I had no life for 3 months. No life. And I literally ate, breathed, and slept you.
If I could find a man that would do that, do you know how great my life would be? I just want to be the greatest thing in his life. That's it.
I would be going to sleep at night, repeating what I heard during the day. And so working it not like figuring it out in my head. So really going over what Gestalt was. And so saying to myself, okay, so Gestalt is this, this, and this. And the week that I was working on family therapy, I was doing all the tore up from the floor up.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Like I just would go through everything that I listened to that day. I would go through in my head as I was falling asleep. Sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it, but I had to do that to learn it. I just had to make that commitment because there's always so many other things to take up your time.
So I honestly, I'm so proud of you. All of you, do you find, okay, I didn't make you a better counselor, right? We're good with that, right? You make yourself a better counselor. That's not my job. I make you a better test taker. You can never, ever say, I suck at standardized testing. You can never say that again. Never. That's past tense, right? You used to suck at standardized testing. You don't do that anymore. But when the minute it said pass, right, the heavens opened up and now you're all better counselors. That's how it works. It's just like all these skills fell from heaven and all of a sudden, right, you're better. what? Not at all. And I think that's the biggest thing I want people to get is because when you fail, you feel like you're not a good counselor. And that's just not true. That's not true at all. The two things aren't related at all. Who else wants to share about their time? This is like going down memory lane for me. It's like, oh, I spend more time with you guys than anybody
I
else. with my
can.
two dogs. Hello, who said that?
Hello, Letitia. I am a repeat offender, as you would call it.
No more.
Exactly. I was a repeat offender. So this was my third time taking it. I was like, Lord, I kept saying third time's a charm. I didn't know if that was
Okay.
true or not, but that's what I kept telling myself.
Okay, I'm listening.
So-
I just got to give my dog some water. Okay,
Oh,
go
you're
ahead.
fine. You're fine.
Go ahead.
So for me, the first time I took it, I missed it by 7. The second time I missed it by 3. I was like, we're going in the right direction. So when I took it, I had 2 different tutors with World Changers. I had 2 different ones, and the second one was the one that helped me the most.
Who did you have first?
Oh gosh, who did I have first? I can't even think of her name.
Charisse.
Did I have Sharice?
I don't know.
I don't think I had Sharice. I know I had Tennille last.
Okay. Very cool.
So Tennille was my person who was always saying, hey, think this. And, she was kind of like adding stuff to it to help me to understand it.
Yeah.
And by her being a school therapist, I was like, okay, this makes sense. This is the school stuff coming in. And I was able to retain it. So I kept hearing her. She says I overthink. So and I know I do. Yes. And
You all do. You all do.
We do.
It makes you a great therapist. It makes you a great therapist. A bad test taker used to be a bad test taker, but it makes you an excellent clinician. So yes.
Yeah. So when I was taking my test, I definitely kept hearing you say it's a reading test. And I was praying and I said, okay, Lord, Holy Spirit, let's do this. So I was ready to jump in. I took the test. I took my break, after 100, which that was not with test 1 and 2. So I'm glad that that's now there. And then when I took my break, and then I also kept hearing Tennille saying, stop overthinking, answer it. And I was like, oh gosh, just go with it. So, because I can talk myself out of it.
Yes.
So after I got the test and I was done, I scooted on out. I didn't even look in mine until I got downstairs because I was upstairs. So I had to go downstairs the elevator. And then we had to check in with security at the front desk. And he was like, how did you do it? I was like, I don't know. So I gave him my paper and I said, tell me. And he was like, pass. And I was like, so I was like, I couldn't look at it because in my head, I kept equating my last 2 tests with being in the room. And I was like, nope. I don't want it to be in the room again. Let's just leave the room and get the answer. So no, what it was, I saw it in the elevator and I was like, I didn't see that correctly. So when I got downstairs, I said, did I misread? Just tell me what it says. And that's when he told me. So yes, when he said that, I was so excited. I had tears. I was walking down the streets of Chicago trying to get to the train and I was elated. I was like, okay, thank you.
So cool. It does my heart so good. It's like my babies are growing up and look, their lives are starting. Look. Oh my gosh. So if you tutor with me individually, I usually give you my phone number so you can text me after the test. Can I tell you how many texts I get and they say they pass and I'm like, that's great and all, but who is this? Like, you got to tell me who you are. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know who you are. I just don't know. I've had people who looked at the paper a couple of times to make sure it was theirs. Anybody else do that? Make sure it was your name. Like, maybe it wasn't my name.
I made a coworker come in and say, can you please tell me if I'm seeing things? Am I delusional? Does that say pass? Because I was crying and I was saying some like words that, I can't repeat, but I was just couldn't believe. So yes.
I still a month later carry my score with me everywhere in my purse. And every now and then I get it out and look at it.
just in case you don't believe it, right?
Yeah, just in case it was a dream.
Who else wants to share? I appreciate you guys giving up this time, and it really is like just getting together to share your journey, right? And really just to kind of give hope to my other clients that are coming up, because I know that many of you, whether you find us on YouTube or you come to us individually, many of you are just so lost. You don't know where to start. You know what you've done wrong. And you're like, but I'm a good counselor. And everybody said, use the purple book. And I did. And I read it back and forth 3 times, Dr. Pam, and I still didn't pass. And I don't know why.
I will say that purple book, it's great for some. It was not great for me.
It was
It-
way
No
too
way.
overwhelming for
Yeah.
me. Way too overwhelming.
It's
Too
okay
much
at the
reading.
end. I will say that. It's so
Mm,
as you
yeah.
know everything, go back. And I used to say don't use
Yeah.
it at all, but now I'll say it. Once you know stuff, it makes
Mhm.
sense at the end, right? In the
Yeah, take the
beginning, it
quizzes
doesn't
and
make that
stuff. Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
He even
Absolutely.
says in the book that he gives you way more information than you're going to need to know for the test. Well, there's already so much information. I didn't need any more extra that it was not, yeah,
Very true.
too much.
Gladys,
Too
you
much.
have your hand raised. Do you want to share?
Yes, yes,
How are you?
I'm doing good. With this study, it took me like 2 years plus months to study the test, and I finally passed for the 5th time the test.
Uh-huh. 5 times.
That time, and it was when I get into the center, I was prepared and everything, and I was so focusing on the questions that I just remember, how to answer it correctly, because it kind of remind me when I took it for the first time.
Hold on 1 second. Guys, if you turn your closed caption on, it makes it a little easier. So just turn your closed caption on, and you can't change my language because they changed it for everybody. Okay, so just turn your CC on. Go ahead, Gladys. So you went in and you took it 5 times. And
And then I remember the questions because I took it so many times that I kind of remember what I put in my last time test.
okay.
With my headphones on and everything, and I just, I was in my own war, just, trying to answer that, and then 10 minutes came as a break, and then I didn't want to take it, and then I took it anyway, and then I had to stop it when it was 7 minutes to finish the break, and then I stopped it.
You didn't want to stop at the break. You wanted to keep going.
Yes. And so I was doing like this, like resting a little bit. My neck was hurting me, and so in the last part, when I finished, I said, well, I did a little praying. I said, okay, here we go. So I'm going to submit it now. I just hope that everything looks, correct this
Uh-huh.
time. And then I submitted it. And when I saw pass, I was like, oh my God. I look up and thank you to God, about everything. Even though I lost my job, but thank you to God that I finally did it.
Very good. So you lost your job because you couldn't get a license?
Yeah, I lost my job because I was on the limited permit.
And
Yeah,
uh-huh. And now have you applied for a new job?
yes, I am applying for new jobs now. So let's see what happens.
You will get something. You will so get something. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. All of you that don't give up, the self-efficacy that it takes to not give up. I am so proud of you, because when I think I've studied, I'm doing everything that my professor told me to do and everything in college, and I think I know this stuff, and I get there and I fail. It's hard. It's hard to get up and do it again. It's hard. And I know half y'all was cussing me out during the test. Dr. Pam didn't say this. I didn't see this on the test. She made me study super. I didn't see his name one time about cussing me out, right? The vagueness of the test. Allison, can you talk to that? How vague it was.
You caught me right when I came back from
So I planned that too. So the minute you take a drink, that's when I call you.
right. I'm like, I just took a potty break and now I'm back.
Hold on. I see some people that are in my group when your camera's not on. Y'all know the rules. The rules ain't changed. Even with the pastor party, if you in my group, your camera has to be on. You still have to be the most important thing in your life today. Go ahead. So tell me.
Okay.
Give me
So what,
5 minutes. I'm driving.
Okay.
Sam, I'm
Then we-
driving. I
yeah,
barely just got out.
Okay. I
Then
give
we
you
don't
that.
want the cameras on.
We don't. Pam can't have that. Okay. So tell me about the
Main question.
vagueness.
Oh, the
of
vagueness.
The vagueness of the
Yes.
questions. Are you a
It-
first-time test taker?
No, this is my second time. I
Okay,
took
okay.
it last year in the summer,
Okay.
and then that really brought me down. So I didn't have enough motivation to start again until just the beginning of this year.
Okay.
And I started studying in February and heard about you through another former classmate that had gone to school with me. And so I just looked you up on YouTube, and
Can I ask you what school?
the Seattle School of Theology and Psychology.
Wow, I have never heard of that one. Wow. Okay. You're on our list now.
Yeah.
Was it online or face-to-face?
The school?
Uh-huh.
Well, when I started in 2015, it was in person.
Okay.
They have gone to doing both now since COVID.
Okay. When we find that we have more than one student, especially from the same program, we try to reach out to them and offer them just at least a free session to come in and let them know that we're here. And for the students, so if any of you have any personal contacts at your school, have a professor that will let us, we offer just to kind of, come in online in the classroom and just help you understand how to prepare. Because I still think schools just don't do a good job of that. They just don't. In your career class, had someone said to you, remember super, you'll need him for later, you would have. You did exactly what your professor said do. You're these eager students. And when they said write a paper on the career people, you did, and you got an A. You didn't learn anything because they didn't tell you had to learn it. They just told you had to get the A.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. Go ahead.
We didn't even when I started in 2015, they were not a K-CREP school. So they weren't going through all the required things. I graduated in 2020 and, felt like, yeah, I know what I need to know. And then, once I started studying and figuring out all the information, I was like, we never talked about career counseling. That never came up. So there are pluses and minuses to the school. I love the part of working through the education and reflection on your own story and how that can impact you, but also what you give back to your clients. But the academic piece was missing a little bit for what you need to know for the test. So
and I don't know that school well enough to know anything, but most of the schools, I don't question anybody's education. I question why your teacher just couldn't have said to you, this will be on the test in a couple of years. Right. Even if you're going to take the test 20 years later, human growth and development, when you took that class, and most of you took it at undergrad level, right? If somebody had said to you, you need to know what 2-year-olds do, it'll be on the test. I think little things like that would have mattered. I just think, and I also think a lot of your professors in a lot of schools the professors aren't licensed. And maybe if they're licensed, they took the test a long time ago and haven't necessarily kept up with what's going on. I talk about, I teach college, so my peers, Erickson stages of, generativity versus stagnation. A lot of my peers are stagnated. They're done. They're not writing anything new. I'll be 60 this year, and they're older than me, and they're just done. They're done. They teach the same thing they taught. If you ask somebody who took the same test they gave 5 years ago, and I think a lot of that is just because we're done. We're done. And a lot of people just don't want to keep going. But I want to hear your story about the vagueness. Keep going.
The vagueness. Yes. I mean, I can't even tell you what a question because it was so vague. That's how people be like, oh, what kind of stuff was on the test? And it's so hard. I can't even repeat to you. I can tell you maybe topics of, I remember a lot of family systems questions.
When did you take the test?
June 10th.
Oh, you're new. Wow. Oh, you're
very new.
Yes. Okay.
Very new, and I barely passed, but I did it. So that's
Oh wait, it says that on your. It said barely passed.
no.
And on Chris and Misty's it said greatly passed. Right. That's.
No, it said PASS.
Thank you very much. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Oh, gosh.
So one of the things, and I hope you've seen us recently, we have recently partnered with Pocket Prep. And all of them. And one of the things that we really want to do is just write questions that are closer to the test. They're so vague, and you will swear up and down. You didn't see super. I didn't see Freud. I didn't see any names, but I have to know the theorist, right? To know what it said. And those are so vague. Those are just those higher level thinking skills. And it's
I
really,
I had to read it over and over. I followed your instruction. I went to a different testing center the second time. I got my own room. I could read my questions out loud. I actually said some choice words to the screen and no one was around to hear me. I was like, are you serious? What is this? But I could read it over and over and over and be like, okay, I think I get it now, and it's a lot of work, but it can be done. But yes, they are very vague. You just have to know, like, okay, what are the basics about super so that it's not going to say that in the question, but you know the wording.
And that's the hardest part to do. That's the hardest part. And I'll tell you for most of you. So population in general, I know that 1 in 4 people are OCD. In this field, I'm pretty sure it's like half. And about half of you are OCPD. You are my perfectionist. You're the kids that when you were in school that you got a B+ and you went back and asked the teacher, can I erase the blackboards to get an A? Come on, half of you are OCPD. And to tell you how to study for a vague test makes you crazy, because what you want is the purple book. You want, what are Freud's 4 stages? Make it very black and white, very clear. And when you don't get that, you're like, I don't know what to do. So a lot of it is just teaching test strategies. Freud's there. He's always on the test. Ego defense mechanisms, ego strengths. Insight always means Freud, right? It's like, you have to just know those words. And again, so setting the content and really spending time with us is just learning how to answer the questions. Standardized tests are hard. They really are hard. And how many of you had to learn to stop bringing yourself in the question? At my office, we can't take no gifts. Anybody struggle with that?
Yeah.
Teresa, do I care if your office takes gifts or not?
No. In fact, there was a question in there. I'm just like, wait, is this my personal value or is this a theory as to why I'm answering this? Like, I had to really step back because they were asking something about including, this man was dying and, and he had broken relationships with his family, his end of life, but he's okay with that relationship the way it is. And I'm just like, well, he should reconnect. I'm like, no. That's my personal opinion.
Ding,
that
ding,
has
ding.
nothing to do with it.
Ding, ding, ding. Ding,
yeah.
ding, ding. So that is the term, that's a code of ethics question usually. And then also that term bracketing, that's the newer term, bracketing and broaching. If you've taken the test in the last year and a half, you've solved those terms. And bracketing is really keeping myself out of the relationship. And for the test questions, if you could just remember and tell your future people, it's not about you. Everybody gets the same test. Until I study you in my textbook, I don't care what you do. And if you've been with me individually or a group, I'm gonna step all over your toes. I'm gonna step all over your toes. Where'd you see your name in your question? Unless you see your name, your address, your social security number. I don't care what you think. And that's the hard part of taking a standardized test. Everybody takes the same test. And did you all have to do a mind shift, a paradigm shift to kind of get there? Oh, Lord.
I think that was the biggest difference between my 3rd test and my 4th test was mindset. And I had to shift and say, get out of your own head. You can do this. You are not dumb. You are not stupid. This test does not define you. You are an amazing counselor. And go. And that's what made a difference to me.
Did you write that on your board? When you were able to write on your board, what did you write?
I didn't because mine was on the computer, so it was up above. But I
that you
actually,
could write on the screen though, right? You had the ability to
yeah,
like take notes there. Okay.
I came to my office an hour early and I put on music that like any 90s girl did, you know, some NWA, some really awesome hip hop from my 90s. And I just moved, you know what, it came on and I was like, that's it. Okay, this is my song. I just jammed. I ran around the office and I'm like, you got this, you got this. I mean, I literally pumped myself up and I went, let's go. And that was a difference for me.
Very cool. So okay, you guys, if you haven't been with me in an individual session, I have ADHD. Actually, I just have ADD, and like I got one good brain cell, and I'd rather talk to you than read the questions. I just can't. My students and I still teach college one more semester, and I'll say to them, I'm going to read the first line and the last line. Anything else in between is gobbledygook. Sorry. That's why I have great staff because I just can't. So Miss Martin, if you want to just tell me your questions, because girl, I can't read them. I can't. I got one good brain cell that's firing all cylinders.
Me?
Yes.
Listen, I'm a chatter. So I was like, oh my God, this is such a great conversation. But yeah, so I passed the CPCE on the first try.
Let's go. Let's
And
go.
when I tell you, I took the test, I signed up for it, I studied since February. I watched all your videos. I'm the one commenting in the YouTube comment section, like, this helped me so much. Thank you so much. And I studied like the recommended hours each day. I think I just took I think Sundays or Mondays off, it depends. I've resigned from my job in January just so I can focus on studying. So I was grateful for that I have, support with that.
Mm-hmm.
I say all that to say I took the test. I was really scared and nervous. I was like, so the same thing, I forget which lady, oh, Allison mentioned. It was very vague, the test. And I was so frustrated and upset. I was like, this is not what I studied. I studied this whole time. I had index cards, like I studied. So they gave me the printout and I just assumed that my score was failing. So I cried for like the whole evening. I was just so frustrated. I had to just process it all. And my husband and my brother-in-law were like, you don't even know yet. Your school has a standard deviation. Like, give it a chance. So 3 weeks later goes by. My clinical director emails me. I open up the email and it says, congratulations. I fell to the floor. I was like, thank you, God. I don't have to take this again because that test is needed for me to graduate. So I'm officially graduated in December. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So how soon are you taking the NCE?
Yeah, so I just got endorsed for that like a week or so ago. So I just have to sign up for the exam.
Okay. So and again, you guys can differ with me that I've taken there. I will swear up and down the CPC is harder than the NCE. I will swear up and down, left and right. It is so much harder, I think. I really do. Anybody else wanna and the CPC, if you didn't have to take it, there's 17 questions in each session. When you take the NCE, there are 100,000 questions on your clinicians. Okay. Whether they're in group or family or individual, you've got to know narrative and CBT and social focus and feminist, and they're not going to even mention the word ever. You will never see like Beck's name, and you're supposed to know that this is mind reading because it's stinking thinking, because that's right. That's one of those Beck terms, and you have to know that. So I personally think that, and the NCE is harder, but you have to have a lower score on the CPC. So what I say is, if you're doing the CPC, don't stop studying, but you got to pick up that assessment piece, and you got to increase on your theorist, because they're less research questions, but more assessment. You just got to know them theorists. You and Freud, Freud's a sex guy. You and Freud got to be sleeping together every night, right? You got to know like the TAT and how to bring things from the unconscious to the conscious, because it's projecting onto the TAT, the picture, all that good stuff. So definitely take it as soon as you can. Anybody in the same boat that took both CPC and NCE? Do you agree that the CPC is harder, or is it just me?
I think it was harder, but it was just different in some ways. Like I had a lot more on DSM, like
there's no DSM on the CPC.
No, and there was on the NCE where I had it know like all the things that would why I would give that diagnosis, right? And would it be severe? Would it be the level of severity too was also on there, and that wasn't with the CPCE.
So I'm going to stay there. So on the NCE, I really don't focus on the DSM. I will do it at the very end because there's usually about 5 questions, and I think only 3 of them count. I'll be very honest with you. You're not expected to be an expert diagnostician at the NCE level. You're really not. So I don't spend a lot of time teaching that. And what makes all of us better coaches is your feedback. If you tell me there are 10 questions on the DSM, we're going to add that to our repertoire. That's exactly what we're going to do because we want to keep up with what people tell us. I want to address somebody's feelings and you guys know this, whenever you see the same material written differently, only one of those counts. Same questions, defense mechanism. They wrote it in a not style. They wrote it in a scenario style. They wrote it in a 1-line style. Answer them all the same way because it's test item discrimination. They're trying to figure out what is the hardest or the easiest way for you to answer those questions. So those always count. Okay. Charity, you got your hand. Are you still driving, Charity?
How'd you know I was driving?
Well, your camera's
I
off.
didn't say anything. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am driving. Can you hear me? But I'm going to be driving
hold on. Do you know that I've been a therapist for 32 years? I'm just saying, I've worked with attorneys to pick juries based on body language and congruence between your mouth. I've been doing this probably before you were born. Okay,
I forgot who I'm talking to. I forgot.
So,
but I wanted to share real quickly that I was a one and done. Sorry, yes. My life didn't stop. But also, I'm a supervisor, and I told 3 of my staff members about you, and one of them passed one and done too this week. So you've been helping like other people through word of mouth.
Thank you. I always, and I hope that through any of my videos, I want you to know I'm so very real. I am so very real. If you watch my videos from day one, I'll tell you that my life fell apart at 50 and I was lost. I didn't have enough self-esteem to do anything. Dr. Pam would not be Dr. Pam had my husband not died. I will be very transparent. I'm not going to hide anything. There's no way. And the reason that I made videos is because now I'm a single mom. I'm at the bottom of Maslow's chart. I was the mom who's out there. I made my kids' Halloween costumes. We had the Halloween party at my house. I had all the kids over for Valentine's Day. I was a Girl Scout leader, and I'd take all the kids so the parents can go out. I'm mom. That's my whole life is mom. And my kids are growing up, and my husband died. And I'm lost. I'm totally lost. So I'll be 60 in October, and I'll tell you, I'm 10. So there would not have been a Dr. Pam had my life not fallen apart. And it literally fell apart. The bottom fell from under me. And I'm very spiritual. I trust God. I trust God with every fiber of my being. And I don't know what your beliefs are, but I promise you, when I was laying on my bathroom floor, and I heard God say to me, I got you. I got you. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how it'd get there. I was just worried about how we were going to pay the mortgage because he left me with no money. I didn't know what we're going to do. I didn't know what we're going to do. And the story is so much more complicated than that. If you watch some videos, I'm pretty transparent, but I just wanted to know, I was trying to get my PhD, trying to start a business and trying to raise all these kids by myself. I didn't want to be a single mama. I got married first. I followed the rules. I did everything I was supposed to do. And now I'm a single mama. And I'm at the bottom of Maslow's chart. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to pay the bills. I can't be the PTA mom anymore. I can't be the band mom anymore. I'm calling friends. Can you pick up my kids after school? Because I've got to work extra hours because it's just me. So I wrote my program based on how I learned. I'm an auditory processor. To this day, I'm an auditory processor. You'll see in my videos, I got my PhD by the articles that read to me. So I can always have things in my head. And whether it was, walking when I used to exercise, I'd go to a playground that had a track around it, and I'd put my kids in the playground, let them play, and I'd have my headphones on, and I'd walk the track, and so I could see my kids while they were playing. So I wrote this because that's how I learned. And I'm sure if you watch any of my videos, I tell you the story of I was trying to get my PhD, and my youngest child, she's like, Mom, you don't need a PhD. I need to finish middle school. Sunday night, that post is due, right? That post is due. It's Sunday night. Mind you, I have a full-time job. I'm trying to start a business, and I've still got 2 kids financially dependent on me. And I stopped what I was doing. I went and helped her with the homework. I went in the bathroom and cried. Boo-hoo, nasty boo-hoo, nasty boo-hoo, nasty boo-hoo. I submitted my assignment a little bit late, and I got through it. And I'm no different than you. And I truly believe that the God I serve he doesn't pick favorites. Well, I'm his favorite. But in general, I just truly believe that there's a plan for your life. From the time that you were in your mother's womb, I just believe there's a plan for you. You were given a gift. Not everybody's made for this field. When you talk to your friends and you tell them what you do, or maybe you share the stories that people share with you, like, there's something wrong with that. What's the right? You don't see it that way, do you? You get the empathy. You get that those people need help. You were made for this field. And I was determined, I'm still determined, this sheet of paper will not stop you from helping those people that you need to help. God gave that to you, and however you see God, I'm not trying to convert you to any kind of organized religion. I promise you, okay? But I truly believe, and I think you all know, there's a reason for this. There's a reason that you're here, and there's people that you won't see until you get that sheet of paper. And I also believe that if you're walking out God's plan for you, you're not supposed to be poor. I know that sounds like, oh my God, I'm not teaching like, give God $1 and you'll make 1,000. That's not my goal. But I just believe if I'm trying to draw people to the Christ that I know, right? I can't be struggling for bread. Yeah, come serve my Christ, and I can't afford to pay my kids. I can't afford to buy groceries. I don't think that's true. I just don't think that's true. I think he calls you for this. I want you to know, always remember, you are a profession. You are a profession. You are made for this. You were called for this. You're no different than a doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist, no different at all. You were called for this. And there are people that are just waiting for you. And now you got that license, and you can help them and make a little money. Chelsea, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Pam.
It is so nice to see you again.
You too. I'm great now. Now that we got that.
I am so glad that you showed up. So tell me
Yes.
about the test for you. What was it like?
Well, going in, I think first of all, your course really helped me a lot because like I was saying, it had been like 10 years since I graduated undergrad, so a lot of that stuff it's like I knew it, but it was just kind of like in the back of my brain, like not in the forefront. So it really helped me, and I know you got on my butt a lot.
I sure did.
You did.
I will always tell you, if you tutor with me individually, you better have some tough skin, because I'm gonna be all up in your crawl. I ain't gonna lie to you. In a group session, I'm gonna be all up in your crawl. I will say. So, tell me how you know that. Where'd you see that?
Yes,
You're my
and I
pastor,
needed
so
that.
But I am my all. If you coach with Tennille or any of my other coaches, that are absolutely great. They're absolutely great. They're nicer than I am. Come on, you guys know that, right? They're so much nicer than I am.
Yeah, and I think my personality, I needed that. Like that pushed me. I was like, I'm gonna show her. Watch. Just give me.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Again, I'm old school. I'm 60. I'm old school. I'm your mama's age. And if you go spend money with me,
yeah,
I'll make sure you get your money's worth, because my money tree don't look like I can just go pick money every time I want, because my kids think money grows on trees. I swear.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you watch the videos of group sessions, I am not nice. I'm you where Leonella. Am I nice?
No, I think we had one person leave because they just could not handle Dr. Pam's personality. So yeah, you
It's
gotta have
okay.
tough skin.
You
But I
sure do.
appreciate
You
you
sure
so
do.
much.
You
Like
sure
it
do.
really helped. And I would say there was a lot of vague questions, but there were about 10 questions where I was like, "Ooh, thank you, Dr. Pam," because of something you said or something that a way that you taught. Like it was a direct question. There's only about 10 of those, but I think you're just listening to the videos over and over, and that's what you really got on me. Like you're not listening enough. So I kept listening to those videos, and it really did get like embedded in my brain. And then I would say that I got lucky because the testing and assessment was just the part that I feel like I would struggle with, but I don't think I got a lot
Should
of
not have.
those at all.
You got
But
30 assessment questions.
I
Did
felt like
most
I
of you
got
do
less.
okay? You got there's a
Oh,
rule between 30 and 32. The test is
okay.
divided. Or again, show of hands. After you spent time with us, did you realize the assessment questions weren't so hard?
No, they weren't that bad.
They weren't that bad, were they?
No,
They weren't
no.
that bad.
And or maybe that's what it is. I was doing them and didn't even realize they were the assessment questions because they were easier than
Okay,
they were. I feel
Allison.
like they were easier than what we practiced. They were.
Probably.
Yeah.
Allison, you have to go. Please share before you go.
What do you want me to share before I go?
Anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, I mean, I said it in the chat. I just am very
Okay.
grateful for you and your support. And yeah, I mean, you're still with me because I still hear your voice every once in a while. I still have study material in my head, but no, it's just been, it was great. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for trusting us. We're the new people. We don't look like everybody else. And to trust us, it took a long time for us to be able to build that trust. And I really thank you. And the best thing you can do for us is always just word of mouth. Just word of mouth. Just share our business, share what we do. But I'm going to be honest with you. I will be late and I'm not going to be nice. My other coaches are great. They show up on time and they're so nice. They really are. Right? They're kind.
Well, there's something about you though. I know everyone has a personality like they were saying, but I watched a couple of the other videos on YouTube from the other coaches, and there was something that didn't I got more from you that I was like, I need the dynamic. I needed you, I don't know. I needed somebody to be a little bit more that way. So
Thank you. I hope it
Yes.
shows that I love what I do.
yeah.
When I left, when I went into academia, and I was always worried about that I wouldn't change the world. I think I've always known from the time I was born, I needed to change. I'm here to change the world. I knew that. I've always known that. And when I'm a social worker, right? So I've always changed the world. And then when I went into teaching, I'm like, oh, but I'm not touching clients anymore. Maybe I'm missing what I'm supposed to be. So it matters to me that I still change the world. Generativity versus stagnation. I want to be generative. I want to matter. I want to matter in this world. So thank you. Terry.
Hi, Dr. Pam. Oh, wow. It's been a journey. Thank you so much. To cry because I hadn't thought about this in a while. But I've been out of school for decades, really.
More than 20?
Yeah.
Wow. 20 is about, when did you graduate from school?
Oh,
With your
Lord.
master's?
I gotta tell you, 95.
You were like 5. Okay. You were 5. Let's face facts. You're 5. We'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah. So this was my first time taking the test.
Okay.
Started on the journey a couple of times. One time I started, quit my job, so because you have to work. My supervisor died and started again. And anyway, just, just stuff kept happening. So my supervisor this time, I started back counseling. I started teaching for about 6-7 years or so. And then when COVID happened, I lost my adjunct job, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go back to counseling. So anyway, my supervisor said, why don't you take this class? Because you don't seem to be structured. I was like, okay, I want to take this class. But anyway, so I took the class and it was hard. I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta wake up my brain because it's been so long. But You know what, Dr. Pam, I'm gonna tell you. I don't know. I wasn't in your class, and maybe you didn't tell anybody, but I know you were praying for me. I felt some prayers. I felt some anointing hit my brain, and I was like, where did that come from? I was like, where did that come from? I was like, wow, somebody is praying for me.
I pray for
Um,
all of my clients. I really
yeah.
do. If I know your test date, I'll pray that morning. I will pray if you tell me, especially when you talk with the individual, and I know your test date's coming. I will pray that morning. I will pray the night before. I always pray the same prayer. I pray Jehovah Shalom, that God brings
Mhm.
you peace. That when you're in that room, that everything that you know flows easily from here to your hand.
Right.
I really do. I pray
I
that
felt those
you
prayers.
realize how great you are.
Yeah.
That you realize that God has already implanted this into you. He really does.
Mhm.
And I swear, guys, I don't do this in individual sessions. I really try to keep my own spiritual beliefs out of it. I do. I don't want to ever.
I know. I never heard you say anything, but I
I don't.
felt
I
it.
really don't. But
At
I'm a
any
believer. There wouldn't
yeah.
be a Dr. Pam without God. There just wouldn't be.
Right.
And I hadn't gone through the crap in my life that I went through, there wouldn't be a Dr. Pam. There wouldn't be. When I was at
Understand.
rock bottom, wondering how I'm going to feed my kids, I never thought there'd be a Dr. Pam. My husband died in October, and in March of the next year, my intellectualization, that defense mechanism, I went back to school. That was my coping mechanism. I'd started a PhD program a couple of times, but he wasn't. He was an awful person. Let's just lie. I'm not gonna lie. But that's when I went back to school. That was my coping mechanism. So I truly believe there's a calling on your life. I believe that more than you'll ever know. You didn't just wake up one day and decide to be a counselor.
Mhm.
It's been
It
there. It's
started,
been there.
yeah,
It's been there.
long
It's been there.
time
It's
ago.
been there. It's been there. And this stupid sheet of paper should not stop you. It should not stop you. It's a stupid sheet of paper. It's
Yeah.
passing a test that wasn't meant for you. I don't see any upper middle class white men, and I have tutored a couple. I'm not gonna lie, but I just
But you
don't
know,
see that.
that guy, when I finished the test, he looked at the paper, he looked at me, he looked at the paper, and then he looked at me again. And so this was my first time taking the test, you know.
One and done.
So I was like, wow, I did it. And I was just so relieved. And so this has been a long time coming, you know.
When did you
I
pass?
still have to finish my supervision.
In your state, are you an LP,
LP,
ALP? What is it called in your state?
oh, the
What
associate ALC, and then you do the LP.
ALC? Well, what state? What state?
Alabama, yeah.
Alabama. Okay. Because every state's different. That's one of the things I always learn from you guys because every state is different. So I learned
Right.
from you what the rules are in every state. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing me that. So you have to get your 3,000 hours.
And I'm just about finished. Yeah.
Very
So
cool. Very
hopefully
cool.
before the year's over, I think I should be finished with that. Yeah.
I
Because
did make you a better counselor. I didn't. I made you a better test taker. That's all.
yes, you did.
And I hope you also
Thank
take
you.
those skills and share it with people you know of how to take a standardized test.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Joanna, I'm pretty sure we had an email from you this week. I think it was this week.
Last week.
Last week. Okay, I want to say a couple things. I don't answer the emails, and I tell my staff to say, let the staff know it's not the clients know it's not me.
Yes.
I don't answer the YouTubes. It says, great job, Dr. Pam. It's not me. I'm sorry. I just want you to know it's not me. I don't want to, not that I don't want to do that. I want to teach you. That's all I want to do. That's all I have staff that does social media. I have staff that responds to the email. I have staff that on YouTube. I have staff that does that because I just want to teach. I want to research and talk to my clients and make sure that I am teaching you the most important things from the test. I want to learn from you and glean information so I can make sure I'm always up to date of what's on the test. I don't know anything else. I'm not, yes, it's my company. Yes, I should know how to put you in peril, but I don't have a clue. I just don't know. I'm sorry. You don't want me to know. You want me to focus on teaching. So, but I did see your name. I go through the email and just check. If email's not answered, then people get fired. So just so you know, no, well, customer service is very important to me. It's very important to me. So if you had bad customer service, you can't work for me. That's simple. So you're 2 weeks ago. Okay, so tell me about it.
Okay, Dr. Pam. So this is I have a 2-year-old. Excuse me. So this is my third time taking the test. The first time I took it.
Okay, can we see the 2-year-old?
Yes. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, cutie. Oh, what's your name? You are beautiful.
Okay, say talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, whenever I talk baby talk, my dogs think I'm talking to them. So like scratching on me, like mama, like I'm not talking to you. Girl, his line is straight.
Yes.
His line is straight. How'd you get him to sit so long enough to get this nice straight haircut?
That's just how his hair is, luckily. He's a busybody.
Oh, you are beautiful.
Oh my God.
It's so great to meet you. You're awesome.
Say thank you.
Just say I know it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. So this is my third time. I graduated from grad school in 2022.
Okay.
And then I found out about this little person. And so I had to wait. Because I had 2 older children, and having an older, well, they're 15 and 11, but they understand mommy needs to study.
Mhm.
But this one, he does not. So I tried to take the test in 2023, and I failed it by 4 points. I was very sleep deprived, had a lot going on, life happening. We had one vehicle and all that stuff that we were using for both of us to go back to work. But it was just a lot going on. So then I'm like, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to rewind. I found you on YouTube because I was just looking up like, okay, how do I figure out I need some help with the NCE and the purple book for me, it's too much stuff and I'm also an auditory processor. So I like to listen to stuff. So so I was just like typing in NCE help or just like I don't know in YouTube, and that's how I found you. And so even though I didn't have a tutor the first time around, like I said, I failed it by 4 points. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I went back and changed some things when I probably should have just got out of there. I had 30 minutes left, but I changed some things, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I know not to do that again. So the second time around, it took me. I didn't take it immediately. I took it like almost like over a year later in 2024. And when I took it in 2024, the score raised a few points. Okay, I know you're excited. I don't want to hear you sing. So
I've raised 3 kids. I don't even hear it. So.
I'm glad. That's what my friend said. She says you're the only person that hears that.
I don't even hear it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. So I took it the second time over a year later and failed it by 6 points. But what's weird is that, okay, I'll tell you this. I answered all the questions the first time around, had 30 minutes left, and I made an 85. The second time I had about 20 something questions left, but I ran out of time and I made an 85.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
Test to retest reliability. That's a test question.
Yes, and I had a lot of questions left. So I'm like, okay, maybe, but I did something weird. So when I got there, the little sheet of paper that you get. So I was writing down it was my anxiety, writing down A, B, C, D, and marking off what could possibly be the answer, what may not be the answer, what could possibly be the answer. And I'm like, why did I do this? This is not something I practice at home. So I'm like, okay, next time I take it, I'm not going to do that. And so I had a coach the second time around, and I would go to Saturday, I guess, classes when I could. So I'm like, I'm going to take it again. And I pushed my day back, and I was going to push it back again this time because I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm like, okay, I just got to do this. And I had post-its, big post-its in my living room everywhere. I just,
Very good. That's what I always recommend. I want you to
yeah,
be filled of this exam.
yes. So I'm like, I have to pass this. So I was just praying about it. I didn't tell anybody this time around. Just a few select people knew. Very, very few. My children, my oldest two boys didn't even know when I was taking the exam. Because I just didn't want people to be like, when you taking the test again, when you taking the test again, that just makes me just more anxious. So yeah, took it, and I beat my original score by 19 points.
What? Amazing. Good for you. I just want to call this out. So you've got a 2-year-old in the background, and you
Yes.
and a job. Okay,
Yes.
and you have 2 other children
Yes.
and a husband.
Yes.
And I'm sorry for my man. You're still raising a
Yes.
husband, right? So
He doesn't understand. He's like,
you're raising 4 people in your house, and you still
yes.
manage to take time to study.
Yes.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. The message that sends to your older children, especially, is that I'm important.
Yes.
And I just wish that I don't think, and I'm old. I didn't learn as a female that I'm important. I didn't learn that. And that's what I want to always pass on to my clients, and you pass on to future generations. It's okay if we don't have gourmet dinners every day this week. It is so okay if we got to order some takeout, or we have pizza. We can have cereal for dinner. Y'all didn't starve, did you? It's okay. There's dust this thick, but I got a PhD. Okay. So it's okay. It's okay. One of the things that I always, and I love, it's from Oprah, and she said, you can have everything you want in life, just not at the same time. And so many of us are OCPD. We want everything to be perfect all the time. And that's not an option. That's not an option. We just really have to focus on what's best for us during this time. And all I ever ask for anybody is 90 days. 90 days. If you make you a priority for 90 days, if you sleep and eat and drink and bathe with me, you'll pass the test. So who else wants to say something, guys? We're going to do about another 20 minutes. I just really, I cannot tell you how important it is to me that you show up. So you came back today. You didn't have to do anything. You did not have to come back. You didn't have to show up today. You all have lives. You don't need to pass the test anymore. And it means so much to me that you take the time to come back and to pay it forward, and to remind me or tell me what I didn't do right. So I hope that what we do so well is knowing what's on the test and talking to you, and you say, Dr. Pam, this is on test. You didn't teach me this. I didn't know this. But I always want to just really, really make sure that I'm on target, that we change every single day. Again, I'll tell you personally that I hate change. I have probably had maybe 5 jobs my entire life. I'm not the one that changes. I've lived as an adult. My kids have lived in 3 different houses. I'm not a changer. I'm not a changer. I like normal routine. And God and I had a conversation that if your business wants to grow and change, you've got to get used to change. And that was hard. Oh, that was hard for me. I get my staff. I like my staff, and somebody messes up. And you know me, I don't want to fire them. Let's give them some time. Let's give them some. So God and I had a whole conversation that I had to, I personally, I had to get used to change, because if we're going to be a business and continue to grow and reach people, I have to get used to change. And that was it still is really, really hard for me. But I'm learning. If you look at any business that's been around for a long time, they've changed, right? Kentucky Fried Chicken is now KFC. So any business that's been around, you continue to grow and change. And personally, that's been so hard for me. So I try to be very, very transparent about who I am. I really do. I'm not going to ever, I don't want to ever blow smoke up your bottom. I don't want to tell you you're ready for a test when you're not. I don't want to do that. I want you to know that I'm you, we're the same people. I'm you. I've been there. I've studied. I did pass my test the first time, by the way, but I didn't have no kids. Nor I had a husband, but just barely. I didn't have that, but I can definitely relate with going back to school, being a single mom, and trying to get stuff together. And my life has fallen apart a couple times. Sheila?
Hi, Dr. Pam.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
nice
so
to see you.
fabulous. I just want to say,
Yes, you are. You are.
listen, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, listen, I'm the YouTuber. I did not take any of the courses. I have colleagues that did because I said, hey, because these were the people that were not graduating yet. They were still in school and they were getting ready to graduate so they could take the NCE. So I have a lot of colleagues who actually did take your course, but I just watched the videos. I went and bought that purple book. So let me say I'm one and done. I took the test October 2024. I graduated in March of 2024. And I was like, I was so overwhelmed with school because I was working full-time job too. I'm like, I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna study, I'm not gonna just go out flat out and take the test because I knew people who had took a test like 3 and 4 times and hadn't passed. I'm like, so that sent my anxiety through the roof. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do that. It costs too much money to, to keep taking that test.
You know what I say? If you keep taking that test at $275,
oh my God,
buy me a pair of red bottoms.
in Texas,
$900. I'm just saying, just so you know. Okay, I got narrow feet. Red bottoms fit me so well. So if y'all want to keep taking the test, just give me the money up front.
I was thinking when I was listening to some of my peers that say, hey, I've taken it like 3 times and I haven't passed it. I was crazy out here. I'm like, no way. So I said, hey, I'm just going to take all the months. I'm going to study. And so I got the purple book and all that. And it just overwhelmed me. It was too much information to process. I had sectioned the book off and everything. I'm going to study this day. And I was like, no. So I'm a YouTuber. I watch YouTube for everything. And I think I might have been looking at like DBT videos to go along with the purple book when you came up. And it was a social worker video. And I think it was from 2020. It was during COVID. And so I saw that. I'm like, let me watch this. I'm watching it. Excuse me, everybody. I'm watching. I'm like, let's see what this black lady talking about. Hold on. So I clicked on that and I think your personality, your charisma came through the screen. And that's what made me want to watch more. So I just start typing in Dr. Pam and then I saw NCE and all this kind of stuff. So I completely for 6 months, I just watched videos. I mean, the whole time I didn't take the test after I graduated. I'm like, I'm just going to watch the videos because the information was there. Right. And so I think the day before, and I think you had videos that was telling us like little bitty nuggets, things we could do. So I had the private room. I did all that, went to the doctor. Everything you said to do, girlfriend did it because I'm one of those people I have to talk it out. And when I heard, hey, you can't go in there talking, I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I have to talk to myself all the time. So I did all of the things. The 2 weeks prior to me taking the test, I watched nothing on TV but Dr. Pam. YouTube.
And usually I say stay off Facebook too. You don't need to hear about how many people failed that week. You don't need that.
Nothing. No social media, nothing. Just YouTube, Dr. Pam. My kids were peeping the door. Mommy, you watching Dr. Pam again? Yes.
Yep.
Dr. Pam, the whole 2 weeks, nothing but Dr. Pam. 2 days prior to that, I just shut everything off. Nothing, no phone, nothing, because I get really anxious. I'm an overthinker and I just wanted to be prepared. And so I think I even for 2 weeks, I think I ate all the brain food. Anybody else do that? I ate all the brain food.
Did you eat kale?
The brain food, all the brain food, all the nuts, all the carrots, all the brain food.
Did you eat kale?
Yes, all the brain food.
So I have a video where I talk about that I'm a health nut. I really watch what I eat. And I know kale's good for me, but I can't. I try to mix it in with my spinach. I try to like blend it. I can't do kale. So
my daughter
on one of my videos, I say I can't do kale. I can't.
You can if my daughter makes it. My daughter's a vegan, and so she
she
makes a kale salad with black bean. I mean, just all the brain food. I was ready. When I went to the testing facility, I had brain food with me. I took the extra 30 minutes. I did all the things you said, all the things. And I went in there. The first thing that I wrote on the little whiteboard, because they have the board on the desk and all that in the private room. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That was there. And every time I had that moment, I look at that board and I could hear you say, This paper doesn't define you. You're here for a reason. I could just hear all that. Like you said, Dr. Pam's go, you could put me in your pocket. I heard all the things. A lot of times when I wanted to change the answers on the test, I could hear you say, "Would you go back and change that?"
I will hunt you down and kill you.
Yes.
That's what I say.
All of the things, all of the things. I came out of that testing. I think I even took a break because I had like extra 30 minutes. They gave me extra. I did all of the things. When I got out of there in Texas, people are just, I don't know. Anyway, I got out of the test when I completed it. You know how they print it out? The face is just blank.
Yeah, they hand it to you
They
face
can't,
down.
and I'm thinking,
they're like,
oh my God. And so the testing center that I went to was like an hour away from my house because I just wanted to take the time to process on my way. I wanted to take time to pray. And I even looked up place because people had bad things to say about some of these testing centers. I didn't want that anxiety about that. So I'm like, let me pick the great place. But I put the test in the score in my purse. I didn't look at it. On the way home, I called my friend who was actually taking it the next day in Arizona. And she's like, I'm watching Dr. Pam right now. I'm like, listen, that test is the questions were so vague. And I kept saying out loud, what are they saying? Oh my God. I went back and read it. But long story short, I did not look at the test. I came home. I wanted to be able to process it. I took a shower. I put my pajamas on. I didn't even look at it. It was still in my purse. Nothing. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And my daughter comes downstairs and she's like, say, Mom, did you pass? She's just looking, what were you in the bed? Did you pass? And I'm like, I don't know. And she goes, where's the test? She said, where's the thing? I said, it's in my purse. She said, well, can I look at it? And I'm like, yes. And so she got it out of my purse and she has the paper like this over her eyes. And she's just looking at me like that. And I'm standing up looking like this, And she goes, Mom, you passed. And I said, oh my God, I fell to, everybody's experience, fell to the floor crying. Thank you, Jesus, the whole everything. I was crying. I was so happy. And she's like, Mom, you really passed. It says here that you were supposed to get this many points and you got this. And I'm like, oh my God. I was just outside myself, because I knew how people were really struggling. And I kept saying, I'm watching these videos and everybody was telling me everything that they were doing. I'm like, Dr. Pam, I'm not having that particular experience. But the part, I will say this, what I struggled so bad on, just without the test, your daughter taught it. And that served me so well. I aced that thing. I just knew that I was going to fail because I wasn't good. That curve just took me out every time even on the videos when you were explaining it. And so I watched your daughter do the whole thing. And when I went in there, I'm like, okay, I just had that particular experience and it had everything to do, I know, with God, surely, but I know I wouldn't have came across your video on YouTube if it wasn't him either. And it was just a watching, no one-on-one, no with anyone in your program, in your business. It was just watching. It was the information that you gave. It was the way that you explained it. It was just everything that you were doing to make sure that we got it. And it was just me watching it. And so
she was my daughter because we went a long time before sharing that. She
Really?
worked with me for a long. We did not share that with anybody. She
Wow.
worked with me for probably 3 or 4 years before we shared that.
Wow. Well, I could just tell just from her personality.
So we have not had the best mother-daughter relationship. I'll be very
Wow.
transparent. We've not had the best relationship. So she's amazing. She's brilliant. She's amazing. She loves research. She's amazing. Again, life. So I'm a mother. So creating a position for all of my children to run a family business is what I've always wanted to do. But also knowing that we haven't had the best relationship. So when she started, I had another person, so she never answered to me. So we never talked about that because it was bad. It was bad. It was very bad. Some days it's still bad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Some days it's still very bad. God's working on us. We've done lots of family therapy. I want to leave a family business. I do. I really do. I want to leave a legacy, something that's important to me. And I love what we do. Her master's in public health. She didn't work for me just because she's cute. She's got the education and the research behind it to prove it. My youngest one, who's just graduated, she's a double major of psychology and criminal justice. I'm trying to bring her aboard, but she's not quite ready yet. She's like, I don't want to work for you, Mom. And now there's no buffer. I've always hired someone else to be a buffer between me and my kids. So that way it wasn't me that answered to them. So it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. It's still difficult. And my son is an online, my children have all lived outside the US. If you watch my videos, they're all, they all live outside the US. Sierra's here now. And she's married. Her husband is Israeli. So he's my CFO. He works for me. But it's not always been an easy process. I'm not gonna lie, it's just not always been easy. So, but she's amazing. She is amazing. I will tell you, hands up all day, every day, whether she's my daughter or not. She is one of the smartest people that I know. And she is that when it comes to research, oh my gosh, she loves research. She loves
Her
it.
videos were huge for me.
Laid it out.
Huge. That curve video, I agree. I don't think I could have done it. When I listened to that, I can remember exactly where I was at in my kitchen doing dishes. And I was like, all these bells going off in my head. And I suddenly just got all of that. And I actually scored the highest in assessment and testing and research and whatever they
And
are.
y'all start like, I can't do numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't do numbers. I've had people who didn't even study for it the first time because there were numbers and their anxiety kicked their butt.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to get a tutor during grad school and those,
She is. She's amazing. She
very
loves
good.
That
research.
was actually
And
the first thing I wrote up. I did the bell curve. I had everything memorized. The
I did
bell,
that
the
too.
T, the
P
Z,
scores, Z scores, the
the
stay line.
stay 9. I had all that memorized and only got 2 questions. I was like, that's not fair.
Sorry, I know.
Oh, wow.
I wrote the curve too, and I actually used it because it was asking me like, so and so scored this in a stay 9, and this was a
Yep.
T score and a Z score, which is the highest.
Yep.
And had I not had that written out, it would have been, I wouldn't have been able to get it.
I think most of my clients are surprised when I tell you assessment's easy and you learn it and you get there and you realize it is easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not as scary as I thought it would be.
For me, it had to be something that had to click. Like I had to.
Yes, exactly.
In her videos did help me a lot.
Her videos made that click.
And this is the first I've heard she's your daughter, so it makes sense. You guys are both brilliant.
I knew that, but I can't remember how I found that out.
So again, the business is 2018. It's quite a while, and she's been with me almost since the beginning. Not quite, but almost since the beginning.
Makes sense now. It all makes sense.
I must
the
have
looks
read
and everything.
it somewhere. I knew it.
We didn't for a long time. We just didn't. But most people would ask. I'm not gonna lie. If you ask, I'm gonna say, of course she's my kid. We look a lot alike. We look like she hated it growing up. She hated that you look. I'm like, it's not bad to look like. I'm not the worst looking mother in the world. Okay, she absolutely hated it. I have 3 children. And they're all amazing. They're the smartest kids ever. Probably because mama told them from day one, you got to go to college. It's not an option. You got to go to college. And one of the things, again, just being very transparent is as I started teaching, and you that have kids and you that work with people, when it comes to like the ACT, I'll tell you, the ACT specifically, my kids have taken it since they were in about 8th grade. Wow. The ACT takes your highest score in each area. And if you ask enough, you'll get the free voucher to take the test. Just keep asking the school, the counselor. So most of my kids, we only focused on one area at a time. We would do English and get that really high score in English. So next time, I don't care what you get in English, if I take the highest score in each area. And if you're looking at Pell dollars, grant money, all that matters on the ACT is your highest overall score in every area. So I've really tried to make sure my kids got lots of scholarship money because we worked on specifically one area. We did a lot of ACT and SAT prep before I started doing this one. But test prep is test prep. And if you watch my videos, you know that I taught people in China how to pass American tests. So a lot of that word association, word matching, don't just pick B or C, go back to the question. And if you have no idea, word match, like word match, just totally word match. Okay.
I
Can
have
I
to
just
jump.
make one statement? I know
Yes, you
I'm
can.
the only
Okay,
man in here.
hold on. My man. Okay, I will tell you. We was praying over you because you were tutoring with Latoya. Maybe? Who are you tutoring with?
I was running like crazy, Latoya.
Okay, and then Latoya's like, I don't know, Dr. Pam. I don't know if he's gonna pass or not. I don't know if he's gonna pass. I'm like, but he's watching my videos all the time. I know he watches the videos. I know he does. I see your little name in the
Listen.
videos. Okay, so
You know, I'm not nothing. I'm not smart. I'm saying this for the people that's got to take this test, because I was the one that would come to group, and I would just sit there and hope you pray you don't call on me for anything. You know, and I took the CPCE. I took it a long time ago, and I think that I was studying at that time with a gentleman. I was the one that had this, because you hear it. I went to school where I was the only African American male there in the graduate program. So and even when I had residency there, just people talking to you all the time, the questions they were asking, it made you feel pressure. It was just so much pressure. I even had professors talking to me, and it made it more pressuring. I was just like, man, look, I'm way too old. I'm retired. I don't even know why I did this. Then I was thinking, like, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it right. So when I get home, everyone's terrified to test. We got LPCAs here in Kentucky, so some people been like 8 to 10 years, some the whole life LPCAs. And so I didn't want that. I was just like, you know what? Everybody's like, that test is hard, but I had to take the CPC to graduate. So the fact is, I'm not going to kid you. I didn't even know I had to do that. I had completely forgot about it because I was so excited to get into school. So by the time it comes graduation, it was like, we was planning the graduation. They was like, well, you got to pass this test. I was like, what test? It was like the CPCE. And I was like, are you serious? And they was like, yeah, I mean, you can't graduate? Like, I done spent all this time and money. It was like, you didn't know that? It said it. And I was just like, oh, oh my God. What is it like? Where's it at? He's like, it's in the book. And that purple, whatever, that thing was like, OMG. I was like, oh, so I started studying and paying a tutor because, listen, I mean, it's a white male's test. So intelligent wise, look, I grew up in inner city. And I'm from Kentucky, Louisville, the city, but it's country. I'm not going to kid anybody. And you grew up in the projects, good and well, your intellectual side is done. It's over. You ain't got a chance. And so that was intimidating enough. So I had every reason to want to just give that up. Like, what are you doing? You ain't fooling nobody. You're not going to get through this. And I remember when I passed that test, the CPCE, I was thinking like, oh, I got this. I'm smart. I can do this. I know I was smart. I know I got this. But I had a tutor. And see, my plan was I got a white doctor. Okay. And I felt like he was going to teach me the white intellectual thing. So I felt like I got this with him. I'm going to take the NCE. I'm ready to do it. My school already told me based on the bell curve and, they was like, hey, you're guaranteed to do well on the NCE. So what did I do? Yes, I went and took it immediately because I was ready. I thought
and that's what I recommend. I totally recommend.
And it was the worst thing. And I don't know what I was looking at. I don't know if it was just I had got too confident in myself. Because when I say it was awful, I wouldn't even yell the number out either. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna study. And at the time I had fumbled, on YouTube.
I'm sorry.
That's what I do. I got so much stuff I was buying, books. So when I finally got with Dr. P, she was having one of her moments, being transparent about her life. And I thought, this is what I like. She's telling everything. The husband under the bed. And I was just sitting there in this group thinking to myself, like, yeah, this is just what I needed. Someone look like me. She's explaining it. I get it. I got this. And then it just kind of, my wife got diagnosed with breast cancer. So yeah, and so then it just made again everything so heightened because she was like, "Well, baby, you know what? We're gonna get through this." And I was thinking like, "Yeah, we are." I haven't had one outburst, no emotional release, no nothing, because I kept worrying about just making sure that she's gonna be okay.
Intellectualization, defense mechanism.
Uh-huh.
Meant at the
it was,
thinking level, not at the feeling level. Okay, go ahead.
yes. It was a big struggle, and I think that for the people that I am one of those people that don't test well you know, and
I'm sorry.
test
That did not test well. Past tense.
right. You're right. Did not. Because I tell you, it was like, you know, I can't make this up because poor Toya, listen, I want to say she's the greatest. Both of them were. I mean, it was like they gave me what I needed when I needed it. Because you was so blunt like you are, you know, and I used to laugh, but I used to wait. And even I knew you was going to be like, because I took the EMDR training and oh, it was awful. And I remember her saying, hey, Dr. P said you're not ready. And I was like, I know, but just listen to me. I've been really studying because this has been a journey for me. I'm one of those people that I walk by faith, you know, and I really thought that they were really deliberately because they see my picture, they know I'm Black. They're not gonna let me pass. They're making me fail. Maybe I'm passing this exam and they're not giving me that. That's where I felt. So one day my wife turns the TV on and she was like, we was just sitting there and I was still thinking about how badly I failed that test. And I was thinking like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this. And then she played night school. Now, I don't know if anybody watches this, listen to this video, but I'm telling you what, I promise you, I don't want to say nothing over that thing, but watch night school and Kevin Hart. When I tell you everything he says, it was me to a T. I mean, I said every single thing. I mean, when I said I was laughing and I really got emotional a little because I felt like that was a sign. It was like, stop this madness. And that's when I really turned to Dr. Pam. I really did. I turned in a way that was severe. I was afraid. I was scared. I didn't know if I was really good enough for this, you know, and I thought maybe, you know, I'm wrong for this. Like, I really believe that. Like, I got a business I had just created during the same time, and it's very successful. So I really could have easily just walked away, but I just kept sitting in fear. And yes, I had the gum, you know, the little gum they say to make you smart and stuff. I ordered that.
I'm sorry. Was there some Delta 8 in that gum?
It was something. They said it was sexual, but it's supposed to make you smart. But I started chewing it and I drank tea. And I remember when she looked at my wall, I had all these sticky notes on the wall. Every night I would read them. And I don't know if they were sticking or not. I was just doing it because I was just praying something would just, and I remember she said, throw all that stuff away, get rid of it, don't look at it again. Just stop it. Just leave all that stuff alone. Stop ordering stuff. Because I had it. When I say I had it all, I had it all. I mean, it didn't matter to me because I was like, it's an investment. Don't ask me how many times I took the test because I promise you, the last two times, yes, the last two was the most hilarious comedy because she kept telling me, no, James, you're not ready. And I said, I know, but I just feel good now. She's like, I know it, but just you're doing good. But you haven't even covered the last 2 or 3 sections. But see, in my mind, I felt like, okay, look, now I'm understanding this. So I spaced it out because I felt like the biggest part is the helping relationship. So if I spend a whole lot of time in these areas and get all the points I need, I don't need to worry about the assessment and all that stuff. Because let's just face it, I was never going to learn that. That was off. So I went in and took it. Of course, I failed it by, I don't know, 3. I think it was 3. But anyway, she says she comes back because she was going on vacation. So we were studying, but I didn't tell her I took it because I failed. There was no need because she told me not to take it, so I didn't want to do it. So, you know, I was like, so then she said, James, she said, now listen, I'm going to be going on vacation. Now, do not take the test yet because you're not ready, but I'm going to send you some material. But no. I have anxiety now. I just found out we can take it every 30 days. So I was thinking like, hey, look, I was really, really close. So I figured.
Hold on. I will take a break. James, how many times did have you taken the test before you passed?
Huh?
How many times did you take it before you passed?
You really want to know the truth?
I do. I want to know what I could have bought with it.
I just tell you this last time, because this last time is just a killer. So I took it 30 days again. I took it while she was on vacation. I wanted to surprise her. I really did, because I kept saying
I just want to know the number. I want to know what I could have bought with what you spent.
Oh, geez.
And you bought all the other study material. I just want to know what I could have bought. I'm a girly girl. I love purses.
Oh Lord, I probably, you know what? I can actually say I probably easily, well, just the test, I would say 4 times.
let's talk about your study material. So the test
Oh
for
my
time,
God, no,
and let's
that's
go
ooh, I
300,
was with varsity tutors. I was at varsity tutors and they were really expensive.
Yeah,
So
so
I
that,
probably spent about maybe 25,000, maybe.
oh, let's see, how many pair of red bottoms could I have bought?
But it was a couple of years. I mean, you know,
So
years.
that's why I have a business,
And you have
because
to keep things
I
going.
worked for
You can't just
varsity.
let subscriptions
I
pass
worked for
go.
varsity. That's
And
how
I had
how
all these
I
books and stuff. But I'm
hold
telling you, I
on,
really had it a minute. I
hold
thought
on, hold
it was a whole thing to put together, but it was just when at the
no,
end
hold
of it,
on. I just want to show you what I could have bought if you just paid
yeah.
me directly.
Oh my goodness, Jesus. Look, my wife already gets that stuff. She's on vacation right now.
Yes, I
So
love
yes, she
it.
said,
I'm just saying. I'm a woman. I'm a girly girl all day. Like I like to
you
drive.
know, you told me this already. Okay, I already know I brought you a whole shoe.
No, I'm just going to drive it in. Okay, just drive it in. You know, Gottman's theory of contempt. Contempt. Like I'm going to take that theory and just drive it in.
Mm-hmm.
They only $895.
But
And,
it was
they're narrow. They're narrow. I've got
it
narrow
was a
feet.
lot going into this.
These fit. Oh, they fit my feet.
It was a lot. It was a whole lot. It was built up on something. So it was like, and I didn't get the accommodation.
Let's just stay with me. Let's stay with me.
Oh God!
I'm just saying, only $895. You could have bought me 2 pair.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure of it. I don't even. I stopped keeping track because I felt like it was an investment.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call you out, and I apologize.
It was an investment. It was one that was worth it because at the end, it was just I felt like when she said get accommodation, that was when I felt bad because when she said that and she came back from vacation and she looked at me and I never forget her. She kept saying, "Did you take the test?" And I was like, "No, I wasn't. No, I didn't." She said, "Well, did you?" I said, "I got the accommodation like you asked." I said, "I did. I'm waiting on it. I get all that." And this time I was convinced. I was like, you know what? And I'm not going to kid you. I saw it on a video. It said, "What did you study different?" And remember my scheme, the helping relationships, that was all the big points. So I figured just focus there. And this time I said, no, I have to do the assessments. I have to do research stuff. I gotta know that. I gotta do all the areas that I never really gave attention to. That's all I studied. So then I got the accommodations. And so honestly, it was like there was absolutely nothing I did because at the very end, I got a new tutor. Perfect timing. I don't know what happened to my, I don't know, she must have got tired of me. But I got a new tutor. And I remember her saying after our third session, I think she was like, "You really know a lot." And I really did. Because I mean, I've been doing this a lot. And so it was just kind of one of those things where she kept saying, you're doing good. Then all of a sudden I said, "Yeah, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to test." And she goes, "Oh, wait a minute. Well, we still got another section, but I'd already been in that section, remember? I was just going the slow route, but I was studying the videos and doing the other stuff. I was already in there. That's all I was studying. That was giving my whole attention to. So, it was like she said the last thing she told me was, I talked to Dr. Pam. Dr. Pam said, "We don't think you're ready right now. You might want to wait. So, no, you shouldn't do this right now." And I said to myself, I was like, I can't do this. I've got to do this. I mean, I just have to do this. It was like the last thing I seen on the email. You're not ready. And I kept telling myself,
we have staff meetings every Monday, and we discuss our difficult clients.
But listen, though, honestly, I can't.
We discuss our men who most often. Hold on. We don't have a lot of men. Because this is a female profession, right? Mm-hmm. And we're very aware that men learn differently, and we're very aware that we have to. I'm going to be so transparent. We have to really stroke men's ego. That's what I think. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You stroked your ego. How'd your big old head get out the front door every day, girl? I just saying. That's
Well,
what
you
we
did
did.
good. No. I will. I promise you. Yeah, the last one you did, I promise you, she did such a great job. I felt like when she talked to you and taught, it was like the whole conversation changed. The next step, she said, "James, you're not ready. You need to work on these up." But I already been there. But I'm telling you, so I did do everything, and I said, I'm not gonna take it until I get approved. Well, they approved the accommodations. It was like, it was just there. It was like, I had to do it. It was like, it was just like, at that point, I felt like, okay, now look, I'm ready. You got this. I promise you. I didn't, she asked me to switch spots. I didn't. I went back to the same one. The same one. And I was so nice to the gentleman that worked there. We became kind of like good friends or something. At least he felt that way, because I would always have good, positive things to say to him. So he saw me come back in and he was like, "Oh, you're back." I said, "Yes." He says, "How you think you're gonna do?" I said, "I feel more better. I feel good." He said, "Good, good." And he said, "Man, I'm pulling for you, man. I really am." I said, "That's okay. I got this. Don't worry." He said, I'm pulling. I hope so." So I went and took the test, And some reason, I don't know. When I went, I got the key to go to the locker to get my stuff out. And he normally they print it out, by the time I come back around, he go get it from him. But when I turned around, he was standing in front of me. I didn't know if it was good or bad because he was handing the paper. And when I looked at him, he was emotional. So I just looked at him like, what the hell? Because this man don't even know me. Why is he crying? So I grabbed the paper. I looked at it and I'm looking, and they done raised the score by 3. I knew then. I said, see, this shit is a plan. This is a plan.
They out to
They
kill
are
the
going to
black
do it
man.
to
They
me.
trying to get them
They
get
are
rid of the
going to.
boy.
I knew it. I knew it. They raised the score. And I looked to the right and I couldn't, because at that point I was like so angry. You know how I don't know if you've ever been that angry. You can't see. So, I wear glasses, so I couldn't see. Everything was blurry. Because all I could see was my wife saying, "Did you do it?" And I was like, damn it, she's going to be crying again. So I was just like, oh God. And I looked and all I saw was pass. I didn't even see the score. I just seen pass. And when I seen pass, I looked, I have not to this day shed a tear, but I swear they probably would have locked me up the way I was riding down the street screaming. I must have yelled at everybody that said no. Everybody said, you're not good enough. You need to wait. I did. I swear I did. I kept saying, I got him. I said he tried it. He couldn't do it. Look what God did. And he raised the score and still couldn't stop me. So that's when you're like, oh my God. See, that's, and I know, Dr. Pam, I swear, I told my niece is working with you now. Yeah, she was scared, but she signed up and she's actually working with you all. And I'm telling all the people down here, I said, listen, don't be afraid. Just go with her. I mean, I don't care what you say to people. Because you know what? The goal is, like you said, is just to get through that test. And I swear, I will live this day. And I've got a whole lot of things. I've always been an overachiever. Kind of got pushed in the pool when I was little to learn how to swim. And then I just stood up and the water was here. It's like that. And that's been my life. It's like everything I fear, I just somehow I get put in it and I pull through. And I know people in my life, and especially this moment, this was one of the absolute hardest. I would never let no one tell me that test is not a difficult test. I would never say that. And I tell everybody that, hey, I had to step away from friends, family, because not just for a little bit. I mean, like my grandbaby, she's 8. She always saying, Papa, I'm studying. Not no more. Papa done. Because all I had to do was listen in my ear.
Do you realize what you taught that 8-year-old though? That it's okay. It's okay to put me first just for a little bit. It's okay. And I don't have to be here for everybody else just for a little bit. If I just put myself first, I didn't ask for your whole life. I only ever asked for 90 days. That's all I ever ask. If you give me 90 days and really give me 90 days of making me the most important thing in your life, you will never see me again. Unless you want to buy me dinner or send me gifts. I'm okay with that. But honestly, I really do. I do. If you give me 90 days, that's all I've ever asked for anybody that's ever done that. You on the hard days, and I get a lot of hard days. I'm not gonna lie, I get a lot of hard days. I work 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have a lot of hard days that I get up and I like, God, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired, Lord. And until December, I still work a full-time job. And there are a lot of days that I just want to like stay in my bed. And I don't have it today, Lord. I can't. You're a therapist. When you pour out all of you every day to a client, you know. And I don't do enough self-care. I'm very aware of that. I don't take enough time off because this is my thought. I'm having a 4th of July party this weekend. And I really need to take like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off. And my thought is like, I've got clients who are testing. They need me. I can't take those days off. I can't. But I have to remember to put me first, because if I don't pour into me, there's nothing left. And I get you'll have no idea what I get. Dr. Pam, you was tested on this day. How dare you? But I want to say to you that just thank you. Thank you for trusting me, and thank you for reminding me that I'm walking out God's path. Because I'll be so transparent. It's not always easy. It is not. My alarm goes off on the weekends. On the weekends, I start at usually 9 and I go to 9. And can I tell you, when my alarm goes off on a Saturday at 9 o'clock, I want to say like, screw all of y'all. I just need to sleep. Just screw all of y'all.
But I just want to say one more time, thank you so much. I would have never passed this test without you. And I am so thankful for everything you do. I am older and I thought I could never do this, but I did it. And I thank you so much for doing what you do.
Thank you very much. We're going to end this.
You help so many people.
To all of you, the way to thank us is to pay it forward. Just please tell people about us. Please tell people that we're worth it. And yeah, I'm gonna be off on your crawl. I am not nice. I am not gonna pretend. I'm gonna be all up in your stuff all day long, but you're gonna pass. I'm the most expensive date you're ever, but I put out at the end. Okay. And that's all we ask. Thank you. Please, we grow by word of mouth. We love what we do. If you've ever met any of my coaches that do not show what they love what they do, let me know. And we hire from within. If you want to work for us, let us know, because we always hire from within. Can I go?
Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much,
Dr. Pam.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Pam.
Is it appropriate?